What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Grape Juice back with another word from the vine. And we're going to talk a little bit today about purpose. All right. Because I believe that we are all created for a reason. All right. I believe that, in fact, every one of us has a purpose, has a reason for being alive, especially in such a time as this. All right. In fact, here's a good question just to start us off, right? Have you ever wondered why you were born in this time, in this place, in this time of life, this era of life? Have you ever wondered why you weren't born in a place or a time such as maybe the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, right? Maybe even the 1600s, 1500s. I mean, you can go as far as you like, even biblical times, right? Have you ever wondered why you weren't born in such a time as that, but you were born in such a time as this? And in 2021, where stuff is crazy to some degree, life is going on, things are just upgrading, technology is where it's at, all of these kinds of things. Like, have you ever wondered why you were born in such a time as this? And that's such an amazing question, even one that has many of us, including myself, ponder from time to time. But this is what leads me to understand that there's a purpose and a reason behind us being alive in a time and era as this. Okay. In fact, if there wasn't purpose, if there wasn't a reason behind us being alive, if there wasn't a reason behind us being alive in such a time as this, would we really take life as seriously as we do? Like, would we really purpose to still make money and still pursue goals and still pursue dreams if there was just no purpose behind any of this, no reason behind any of this being what it is? So these kinds of things circulate my mind, and I hope to some degree it circulated your mind, even as you may have clicked on this video, because when we talk about purpose, all right, just to give us a definition of purpose, purpose by definition is the reason for which something is done, created, or for which something or someone exists. Okay. So essentially, when we're discussing purpose, we're discussing the why factor, right? Why am I doing this? Why am I believing this? Why am I pursuing this? Right? Anything and everything that can be circulated around asking the question, why? Okay. Because essentially, if we are searching for why, okay, we're searching for a reason. And if we're searching for a reason, we're essentially searching for purpose. Okay. Because when we're asking ourselves why, we're trying to give ourselves a reason to do what it is that we're doing, consider what it is we're considering, that then would feel as if there's a purpose behind going after what it is that we're looking to go after, do, complete, accomplish, live out, all of those kinds of things. Right. So essentially, that is what purpose is when we just kind of take the cover off of it, if you will. Okay, because a lot of us can sometimes be a little confused, right? A little confused, or a little bit frustrated and frazzled, right? Because we're trying to figure out what purpose is, and everybody is talking about they're living their purpose and they're doing what they were created to do. But like, how did they even figure all of that out? How can that even be obtainable? How is it that you can ever figure out if you have purpose or not? And that's actually a good question too. But I want to save that for the end, okay? Because that's going to kind of transition us into another video that we'll continue this discussion on. But I want to share with you some things that purpose is not, okay? Just to kind of give us a better understanding of what purpose isn't, all right? So what purpose isn't is your title or your career or your finances, right? Or even something that is smaller than you. Okay. Like, think about it. Anytime that you see something that you're able to do that doesn't seem too hard, doesn't seem too big, doesn't seem too, tough to deal with, you're more willing, right, to not only take on that, object or that idea, but you're really kind of breezing through it. It's not a challenge. It doesn't push you. It doesn't challenge you to think bigger, think greater. It doesn't challenge you in any kind of way because it's something that's smaller than you. And anything that's something that's smaller than you, when it comes to an obstacle, a challenge, or anything like that, It doesn't take much effort to get over that small obstacle, right? But when you have something that's bigger than you, right, it takes a little bit more thinking, right? It takes a little bit more application. It takes a little bit more effort, a little bit more of everything to not only strategize, to not only think outside the box, to not only think, but to then make the best out of what you're doing, what you're pursuing, and the ideas, dreams, visions that come to your mind when it comes to overcoming that obstacle that's bigger than you. Okay, well, I don't want to think of purpose as necessarily an obstacle, but what I do want you to think of is purpose that is bigger than you. Okay, because essentially purpose is greater than each of us, right? All of us that has that have purpose, which is everybody under the sun, everybody that has breath in their body today, right now, we all have purpose, and it's bigger than us. Okay, this purpose is bigger than us because it's something that we are living for. It's something that we are living to not only accomplish, but to just live out. It's our daily life, because what happens is when we discover purpose, okay, we have a focus, we have a vision. Okay, we have something that we are ready, set, aimed to pursue. And anything that you get focused on, you get even more focused on the surrounding parts that help out the main idea that you're focused on. Okay, you are more focused on the friendships and relationships you have around you. You're more focused on the needs that you have to accomplish what you're pursuing. You're more focused on the dreams, visions, the goals, all of those things just becomes a major focus, a centerpiece for you to focus, a target to have, right? To the point where you know what you need and you know what you don't need. You know who you need and you know who you don't need, right? And those things that can drive us crazy from time to time, because sometimes we think we need everything and we need everyone. Or sometimes we think we need something to get it off the ground. We need to do this to start this. We need all of this kind of stuff that we don't have in moments notice. When really, what purpose is, okay, not only are we talking about the reason for which something exists, but we're talking about an individual not completely surrounded about what to do, but who they're becoming. All right. Because purpose is what allows us to build character, integrity. It allows us to build so many different qualities about us that we never knew we needed or we never knew we had, all because we're walking in purpose, in alignment. Okay. Let me give us a better picture of what purpose looks like when we're talking about just an example. All right, just a quick example. And this might seem a little goofy and silly, but I got a water bottle here. All right, I got a water bottle here. And this water bottle's purpose, this water bottle's reason for being created is to contain anything between liquids. Obviously, many people might use water bottles to hold pennies, to hold whatever it is, collector's items, right? But this water bottle as it is in my hand is created and aligned in its purpose because it was created to hold water, right? To be something that consumers like me can buy and open and drink out of, right? This purified water that is sitting in this bottle. Okay. It's created to hold, it's created to contain, right? But if I were to take this water bottle, this same water bottle, and maybe go outside and shoot basketball, right? Or maybe go outside and punt it like it's a football. Or maybe I'll go outside to a nearest golf course, maybe Top Golf, and just try to play golf with this water bottle, right? First of all, people would look at me like I'm on all kinds of crazy drugs or whatever the case may be. But secondly, this water bottle, all of a sudden in all three of those scenarios has no meaning and has no use for me, right? Because it wasn't created as a golf ball, right? I would need a golf ball to go play golf. I would need a basketball, right, to go play basketball. I would need a football to go and accurately play football. Not a water bottle though, right? Maybe something to, again, hydrate with. Maybe something to use to hold whatever it is that I'm hydrating myself with, water, Gatorade, whatever the case may be. That's good. That's in its alignment. It's in its purpose. It's what it was created for. But if I were to go play basketball, football, or golf with it, it's out of alignment and it no longer has any use to me. Okay. Which then it's out of alignment and it's out of its purpose. All right. So with purpose, all right, comes environment. And with purpose and environment, we get the complete picture, right? In which what is being used, what was created, which now has a reason, is now in the environment, right? That this purpose is able to shine best. This purpose is able to gain attraction the most. Okay. So for you and me, much like this water bottle example, have a reason and why in which we were created. And not only do we have a reason and why in which we were created, but we also have specific environments that our purpose draws us to, in which the purpose that was created in us shines brightest. Okay. If your purpose, if a part of somebody's purpose was to, I don't know, help others with finances. Okay. Maybe a portion of somebody's purpose is to help them with finances. You're not going to see this person in an environment, right, where they're just blowing all the money they can. Right. I mean, that doesn't make sense. You're here to help somebody with their finances, not throw all their money down the toilet, down the drain. OK, so with everybody's purpose, right, comes an environment in which this purpose thrives the best. All right. This water bottle, back to the water bottle example, its environment, OK, is in this water bottle. Right. It's in the water bottles. It's in the water cases. It's environment. OK, this water is thriving. I'm getting the most use out of this water bottle when it's used to contain whatever it is I've placed in it. OK, but when I take it out of its environment and I start taking it to golf courses and I start taking it to basketball courts, and instead of drinking something out of it, I'm playing with it as if it's the object that we're playing with to accomplish the goal in the sport, then it's of no use. It's out of alignment and it's no good to me. OK, much like that, you and I have purpose that is aligned in the same way. OK, which also leads me to understand that not only does purpose have an environment, but purpose was created in us. You and I already have purpose created in us. How can I confidently say that? Because we were created by the ultimate creator, God. Right? That's really the main idea I want to leave with you in this video, is that for us to discover purpose, we have to come to the ultimate creator who knows us greater than we know ourselves. Right? Oftentimes we try to look to other people to give us what we're looking for. Hey, I need purpose. I need to see purpose. I don't know my purpose. Can you tell me my purpose? Can you tell me my purpose? When most people in this life don't have any power, weren't a part of your creation, weren't a part of you being created. So they can't tell you what your purpose is. They might be able to tell you your potential, but what they can't do is tell you your purpose. Okay, well, what's the difference? Well, potential is just simply saying what you could do, right? You know, you have the potential to do whatever you put your heart to, right? Everybody might come around and say that, which is another discussion for another time. But people may come to you and say you have the potential to do this, you have the potential to do that. Maybe you're tall. People will tell you have the potential to play basketball. Maybe you're good at dancing, so people will tell you have the potential to maybe be a star stepper or what, a cheerleader for a professional team, or whatever the case may be. You just have the potential. Everybody says you have potential. But just because you have the potential, or just because you could do something, doesn't mean you should do something. All right. In fact, scripture tells us that not everything that we are allowed to do doesn't mean it's something that we should do. Just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it. And that's essentially what potential points us to, right? Everything you could do revolving around opportunity. But purpose, right, is something that God has graced us to do. So not only has God created us to do it, but he's created this purpose in us that only he could reveal to us, that he's graced us, right? He's allowed us to do. He's allowed us to grow in. He's allowed us to develop in as human beings, as people, right? Choosing to seek him who created this purpose in us. All right. And with purpose, we are becoming someone, right? We're spending our time growing into what God desires for us to be. Okay. Ultimately more like him, but along the way, being given qualities and characteristics and growing in certain areas that we were once weaker in prior to discovering purpose. All right. So here's something that I want to leave with you when it comes to discovering or understanding purpose. Right. We've talked about what it isn't. Right. We've talked about but the difference between potential and purpose. And we've talked about that it's greater. Okay. It's greater than your career. It's greater than your finances. It's greater than your title. It's greater than you. Okay. So we don't want to limit our purpose to our career or what we're doing. Right. But it's about becoming ultimately more like the ultimate, or more Christ-like rather. Okay. But I want you to be thinking on this as we move on to our next video. Okay. That the only way that we can discover our true purpose and the true reason why we were created is coming back to the ultimate creator who created us and knows more about us than ourselves. All right. If I was to put this in a small, quick example for all of you gamers out there, right? You play video games. You love video games. You have your favorites. You have your least favorites, all of that good stuff. But every video game has a company that it's designated developer. Right. So this designated developer are the ones who developed and created and put this game together, even gave you a manual that's on the front of the game. If you're like me and you used to buy the actual game disc and the game cases, all they did was they created a manual, right, in which they were able to show you how to play this game effectively to get the most out of this game. Right. And they put that little manual and little map, right, on the inside of the game as you paid your $60, or maybe you pre-ordered it right before you got your hands on it and started to play. So it's the developers of the video game that are able to tell you best how the game works, what the game is capable of, the mission of the game, the impact and effectiveness of the game, because they were the ones who created that video game. All right. Maybe for you football fans, it would be Madden, right? Which its developers are Electronic Arts or EA, right? For you basketball fans, maybe it's you love playing NBA, right? NBA games, no matter what version it is, right? When 2K are the developers of that video game. So here's what you wouldn't do. Okay, now understanding that there's developers to the games that can tell you the most out of the game, and you are able to get the most out of the game by going to the developers and trying to figure out how they, why everything is put the way it is, the stats, why it reads a certain way, all of those things. What you wouldn't do is you wouldn't grab a Madden NFL game and then go to somebody who is a 2K developer who only makes basketball games and 2K related games and say, well, what does this stat mean? Why is this here, right? Why is this reading on this game and all of that? Because essentially you're asking the wrong developer. They didn't develop the game, so they're not going to be able to explain to you best why you're reading what you're reading. But you know who can tell you and explain to you the best why you're reading what you're reading, what it is that you're seeing. It's the developers of the Madden NFL game. Okay. Much like that example, you and I have somebody who developed us, who created us, which is God. And God, who is the ultimate creator, who has created everybody underneath the sun, all of creation around us, has given us a sense of purpose, not just a sense of purpose, but has created purpose within us, that by coming to him, he would reveal these things in us, reveal this purpose to us in due time, over time, right? And by pursuing a relationship with him, he will give us the understanding of what we were created for, and then help us with wisdom, help us with understanding, giving him the keys to our life, right? Asking him to be a part of our lives, come into our lives, be Lord and Savior of our lives. And by doing so, he's going to lead us to our ultimate purpose in this life that only he would know and not anybody else. So I know you see your rappers. I know you see the athletes. I know you see all of those kinds of people, and maybe your favorite role model that you've looked up to and you said, I want to be them. Right. And I know you've seen all the money and all the cars and all you can have it all. Flowers, cars and candy, all of that. You've seen it all. You've seen all what money can do. And you say, well, if that's how they make money, then that's what I want to do. So then that must be my purpose. But I want you to think about this. OK, when we talk about the discovering purpose, we can't look at what everybody else is doing. We only can look at who created us, who can lead us to what we need to be doing. If I was to pursue someone else's purpose, I'm not living my own. And just a thought, who's to say that your favorite rapper is actually flowing in their purpose? Right? Who's to say that your rapper, your favorite artist, your favorite athlete is flowing in their purpose? It could be a part of their purpose, but did they even seek God to find their purpose? Did they even consult God to see if that was what their purpose? And I know you see them coming on the stands and coming on the stage, thanking God for the music they produce. But I want you to ask yourself, is that really of God? Do they really see God in the music they produce? Are people able to really see Christ in the music they produce and in the words and lyrics and all that good stuff? Like, are they? Or is it more worldly? Right? So when you see your favorite rapper and you see your favorite athlete, it's not that they aren't walking in their purpose, but you can't look at them and tell yourself that that's what you should be and that's who you should be, because they can't tell you your purpose. Only God can reveal to you what your purpose is, because he's the one that ultimately created you. And I'll leave you off on this. Without God, we cannot find our purpose. Okay, so a relationship with God is the most important thing. A relationship with Jesus Christ is the most important thing to discovering, finding, and walking in our purpose that God created in us. You have purpose, and he wants to show you what your purpose is. All right, so I'm going to leave you on that, chew on that, think on that. And in our next video, we're going to kind of look at some ways in which we could possibly enter into the realm of purpose with some questions that I think will be very helpful to you, because they were very helpful to me. So chew on this, sit on this, think on this, take these grapes with you. And as always, until next time, peace.